Hello again, my name's Elizabeth and today we're sewing smart for students or for people like me. I go to a study group once a week and I find myself fumbling around in my bag looking for my pens and pencils. They're always separate from my notebooks. But today I've worked out a way where I can have my pen holder on my notebook and it's all together. I don't have to go in search of them. So today we're going to make the cover for our notebook first and then the pen holder that goes on the top. To begin with, we need some lightweight wadding and 2 pieces of print fabric. I have actually chosen the Busy Bee fabric because I think that's very nice. I will make the pen holder from a nice yellowy orange spot. So I have my book. This is actually a sketchbook. It's a little bit risque on the front, but you won't see that when it's covered. It has no lines on, of course, because it's actually a sketchbook notebook. And the point of measuring is that you have the book and you will need approximately 3 inches either end on your fabric and 1 inch longer from top to bottom of your book. That's the size of fabric that you will need to cover it. You'll need exactly the same size fabric, sorry, not fabric, wadding. Same piece. I've joined it again. If you can see that, there's a join in my wadding so we don't waste it. And how we'll start is we're going to put 1 piece wrong side down. Onto our wadding. The second piece with the pattern going in the same way because I'll turn it around so you can see I'm using a one-way pattern design. So you can see that the bees are all flying this way. So I need to get this piece exactly the same way around. And I'm going to put that right sides together on the top. So that will be the bottom of my cover. This is the bottom of the book. That will be the bottom there. And I'm going to pin, leaving a 4-inch gap at the bottom. So I'll pin it, leaving approximately 4 inches, 3.5 to 4 inches at the bottom. I'm going to pin it all the way around and stitch using a generous 1/4 inch stitch all the way around. All the way around here, leaving that gap to turn it. And I will turn that to the right side. I stitched all the way around, turned it to the right side. Now, so you see there's my gap that I left to turn it. Clip the corners, of course. And I also cut back the wadding, the lightweight wadding, to the stitch line as close as possible to give it less bulk. So that's the cover. This is my book. Try and get it in the middle. And all I'm going to do, you just need a bit to put, fold over that side, and this will fold over this side. So you've got that. I'll adjust this so that they're both the same. Take that a bit that way. They need to be roughly the same. That's still not the same. I need to move it along a bit. Remember, when you've got the spine on the book, of course, when you close it, it takes up a little bit extra. So that's nearer than it was. So I'll make sure that they line up properly, those 2 pieces. I will pin it here and here, across there and across the top here, just so this cover fits in, slides in and out really easily. Sew it just along there, and I will stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way around, because at the bottom here I've got a generous 1/4 inch seam allowance and it will catch it in. The 1/8 of an inch will catch it in just there. So we'll fold that over and stitch it across there after I've stitched all the way around here. So I've folded the ends in and stitched them on the right side. I've also put 2 or 3 lines of stitching down where the spine will go on the book. So I'll now slip the book in fits all right. And that one. You see I've got the fold-ins pretty even. You can mess around with those until you get them how you want them. But those 3 lines of stitching on the spine just give it that little bit extra support and wear. So that's our book cover finished. The next step that I'll come back and show you will be the pen holder that will go on the top. The pen holder goes on the edge of the book cover, and to make that you'll need some 3.5-inch strips. And how this will work is, and you have to have the lightweight wadding as well, and how that will work is it will go on the side, and the pocket piece will go on the top of that, making the little pocket. Actually it goes the other way around, but it will make the pocket for your pens. And then the elastic will go from underneath here to in between at the bottom there to secure the pen holder onto your book cover. So we'll start first with the pieces of fabric we're going to make the holder from. I've got 2 separate pieces here, so I'm going to put down the wadding first, and then with the wrong side down onto that of one piece, and the second piece on top of that, right sides together, and I'm going to pin all the way around. I'm going to use a generous 1/4-inch seam allowance, and I'm going to leave a side opening for turning. So just like we did with the book cover, I'll put one about 3 inches, but you can either have it in the middle or top or bottom. Just leave that much for turning. When you've stitched all the way around except for the gap, turn it over and just snip your wadding back to the stitch line, clip the corners and turn it to the right side. And then we're going to do the same thing with this one, except this is a folded one, and it's folded for a purpose which I will tell you later. You will see as it happens. So I'm folding it in half again, right sides together. There's my piece of, if I put it that way you'll see it better. It will go on the top there, and again I'm going to leave a gap in the side while I'm stitching all the way around, except where the fold line is. I'm not going to stitch across there, so it's down this side across the top to the gap, and then from the gap to the bottom on the raw edge. I've stitched all the way around. I've left my opening here. Now when I stitch these two together, of course I'm going to use 1/8 of an inch, so that will nicely pick up that generous 1/4-inch seam there, and this one as well. I can actually turn that over, so I've got one on one side, one opening on one side and one on the other. That way they won't all be in one place. Now this is the folded edge that I had. The reason for that is when I come to put one of the pocket on the top there, I don't want so much bulk across here because I'm going to slip in the elastic in the bottom there, which will make it even thicker. So that's why I've got that single fold in the fabric there, and that I will stitch all the way around. I've got the seam at the top here to give that a bit of extra strength. That is going to sit on there. This piece of elastic will go underneath, so daisy, and join on the back. I'll run it along the stitch line here, join on the back here at the top, and that's what will make it clip onto the book. It will slide on. So all I'm going to do is I will stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way around, catching in those openings down here. Keep them nice and close together, line them up as much as possible, and just go across the bottom with this piece of elastic enclosed in that bottom seam there. And then I'll come back and show you how to put the elastic on the top. I've stitched using a 1/8 seam allowance all the way around, catching in the elastic in between the two layers, and now I have to secure the elastic to the top. So I will pin it, I will tuck it under because it has to form a loop. I will tuck it under here and I will stitch it on along the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance stitch that I already have. I will just follow that line there with that tucked underneath, so it will be just like that, and then I'll come back and we'll see how it fits. I've secured the elastic on the inside, it stays nice and neat, and I've just stitched along the top there. We'll see now, hopefully it will fit. Let me open my book. There you go. It fits nicely, just squeeze it on. I think that looks really nice. All we need to do is slip in our pens, clip them on, and the next time you need a notebook and a pen, it's all together. It just fits nicely on the inside there. So I think that makes a really nice gift. It can be, you know, just an additional gift. It makes a good object to have on your stalls, and you can make it in any fabrics, as you know. You can do it Christmas, birthdays, anything. You could make it with the pencils on for school. And if you've enjoyed watching this and learning how to do this, then go along to my Etsy shop, because the pattern for this comes as one pattern. The book cover and the pen holder are on the same pattern. So, and you can also see all my other patterns in there too, which you might like to have a look at. And if you've enjoyed it, give us a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time for another project.